man.
We're on.
Now, we return to a man who is always outraged.
That's an outrage. Here is Tony Bruno.
Hello there, kids. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out. It's a Wednesday night. We're live at Comedy Sports Philly. This crowd is ready. I'm more excited because I'm leaving for San Francisco on Saturday.
You're going to leave us here.
Get out of
Abandon
this
us
boat move.
in the snow.
And heading out for 9 days for Super Bowl fun. It's Tony Bruno. We're live at Comedy Sports Philly, CSE Philly. In fact, next Monday night, we'll be at Comedy Sports San Jose.
I saw that.
Doing our live podcast, our first of the week of Super Bowl fun. So we'll tell you more about that. Tony Bruno, Miss Robin is here, running around frantically for the last couple of hours.
As always.
As she's want to do.
I am one to do that.
She's like the school marm.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Like, right.
She's like the principal.
The unpaid school mom that comes in and just runs around.
Like the nun who would get the ruler out.
Yeah,
to make sure everybody was being taken care of.
I don't have a ruler. I just have a whip.
Right. Oh, that's better. Of course, Joe Corrado here, one of our favorite Twitter guys. Joe Corrado, everybody loves him. Everybody follows him on Twitter. The sickest man on... He is sick.
I am.
The meme
sick
king.
in the head. Yeah.
You are the meme king, though. How do you do it?
I just grasp him out of,
Do you
out
go
of
to
the internet.
Anything that happens, Joe has a meme for it within 10 seconds.
No, a GIF.
A GIF or a meme?
I don't know what
they're
moving pictures
Do
to
you
me.
make your own GIFs?
No. I just grasp them from
From
Google
various
them,
places.
basically.
I don't know how. I'm
Google
going
me.
to talk to you later because you
Yeah.
are the king of it, and I need to learn a little bit more from you.
Exactly.
Insanity has a lot to do with it.
Of course, the man up at the wheels of steel and the God Mike, he's a man who works 24/7 and doesn't make a dime on this show. The great Luigi Curto up there in the God
What
Mike.
up?
Luigi, all right?
He's good. He's always working, see?
He is.
He is.
The guy works like 24 hours a day.
He doesn't have time to dilly-dally.
During the snowstorm, he's
Right.
like, oh, I got to drive into
He
work.
had 92 straight hours he
And
worked.
I'm like, dude, you don't have to go to work. With all due respect to your job, you're not putting up electrical wires. You're
He's
not
co- he's-
plowing snow.
right. He's committed.
And he says, I got to drive to work. I'm in security. I said, who the hell's working where you're going to secure? What do
He
you have
even,
to secure?
he even periscoped his ride on the highway.
Outrage.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But I'll tell you what, though, the people who did the Saves These thing, and I saw a lot of cones, I don't blame them. I know the city's telling people, if you're going to dig out your own spot, don't put a cone or a chair out there.
Right.
Screw that.
Have you seen
Screw
something?
that.
You've
I
seen the
know.
streets.
They're a disaster.
If you're going to dig a spot out, and you want that spot back, right?
That's right.
Because
You
the
put
other
all that
people
effort
aren't
in.
digging their cars out.
I
Exactly.
mean, we were watching people, and a lot of times it was taking them 2 hours and more to dig their cars
Exactly.
out.
Right.
We did a live Periscope.
And that was heart attacks now.
We did a live Periscope. We couldn't even get to my mother's neighborhood on
Well,
Sunday.
yeah, no, it was...
Meanwhile, we had another great fighter over the week. So you know what? Eddie Alvarez and Danny Garcia have something in common. They were both on network television winning their fights most recently. Danny Garcia was on Fox on Saturday night prime time. Do you realize that was the very first prime time ever boxing event held since 1995? 1995 was the last time. I'm not talking about Showtime, or I'm talking about over-the-air, regular TV, because when Danny Garcia fought Robert the Ghost Guerrero Saturday night in a Staples Center in Los Angeles in a packed house, prime time on Fox, and then, of course, when Eddie had his bout up in Boston at UFC Fight Night 81, that one was on live TV, too. So 2 guys on national television from the Philadelphia, both Philly guys representing the city. That's awesome.
That is
very
great.
awesome. A lot of people giving me love for my Super Bowl picks. Now, remember, last week, when we do the show on Wednesday, I don't normally give out my football picks.
Right.
But we had Ken Cage here from Airplane Repo. And then at the end of the show, he says, all right, what do you guys like? And we all went with the chalk, New England and Carolina.
Correct.
And then I said, yeah, I'll probably go along with you. I think New England's going to win. So then Sunday, I post my picks on my website, TonyBrunoShow.com. And I said, after leaning toward the Patriots all week.
After further review.
I've been thinking about this game, and something
you let it
tells me-
marinate for a while.
And I let it marinate like everything,
Right.
like this vodka we're going to open here
Exactly.
tonight and pour out.
Exactly.
I said, I've been thinking about this. There's something that tells me that Denver, because of their defense, they're going to put pressure on Brady. The Patriots can't run the football. Brady's
Right.
been unbelievable in finding ways to win by just throwing and throwing and throwing. Gronkowski was hurt. I didn't realize how much or little he'd play. But I just said, I'm going with the Broncos.
Right.
And I took the Broncos with the points. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won. They found a way to win it, and obviously Carolina
There was another
easy.
unknown fact that I don't know if you knew.
What was that?
That officiating crew that worked all the Denver title games, was undefeated. Undefeated for Denver.
Ed Hockley, I believe it was like 10-0.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
10
or 11.
Ed Hockley officiates a Denver Bronco game.
Yep.
But I don't think the officiating.
No, I'm just saying. I was out there like, there's something
Ed's
weird.
still, Ed has his own website and everything.
Well,
the guy's he's buff.
Right, exactly.
You've seen this all. A bunch of guys decide to go out and get inked up, proclaiming their favorite teams were going to either win the Super Bowl or at least be in the Super Bowl. Let's start off with the first guy, Arizona Cardinal fan. I mean, this is a really professional job on his leg, right? This is a week before they played in the championship game. He couldn't have waited until Monday?
Right, exactly.
So he did call Carson Palmer, though, to ask him help pay for the painful remover, but the phone call was intercepted, unfortunately. And then we have the overconfident Patriots fan up in New England. Did you see this guy?
No.
The guy gets he has a whole array of ink anyway. He gets a Patriots Super Bowl 50 tattoo. There it is, really nice.
Genius.
The premature jocularity on the back of his leg, so it's more visible. But he has 200 tattoos all over his body, up and down his neck. He's just going to add an AFC divisional round champs above that, though, if he wants to fix it. And then the worst guy is this guy here. This guy in September. This September, he decides to get it on his neck, of all places.
Gotta love the neck
You got
tats.
them on your leg, you got them on your back, you can hide them. You can't hide a neck tattoo.
What did you turn that into?
I don't know. And then of course, last year, Cowboy fans, every year they go get tattoos, and every year since 1996.
Well, that's just
this guy got that before the 2014 season.
Right.
And then, of course, the one I don't get at all, and they've been doing it every year, Detroit Lion fans. Detroit Lions who've never even been in a Super Bowl. At least the Eagles have been into.
15.
Detroit Lion fans, there it is.
Horrible.
And if you go back and look on the internet, they like every year, Detroit Lion fans are getting championship tattoos.
Exactly. They're very hopeful.
And then, of course, finally, the Seahawks fan. Seahawks fan, this guy was close, and the tattoo actually is not that bad when you get to see it here.
Right.
He was pretty accurate. The guy had back-to-back, because they won the Super Bowl, then they go back and should have won the second one.
They should have won,
So the guy gets a tattoo which says back-to-back Super Bowls. If it's not for Pete Carroll and that stupid call.
Moronic play, exactly.
So the guy gets it, and he's like, hey, what am I going to do? So you know what he did? He went to his buddy to try to get it erased with sandpaper.
That's good.
And the guy's using sandpaper
That'll work fine.
to try to erase
That's great.
Sure, that'll work. No problem.
That's good. No, not at all. Now he has MRSA. Congratulations.
Now he has MRSA.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Is that unbelievable?
Was it worth it?
So there you have it. Those are all the
That's ridiculous.
dumb people who decide to get tattoos.
I noticed no Cleveland Browns.
No, the Cleveland
up there.
Browns. At least they're smart enough not even to attempt to try.
They'll
to
use marker.
Tattoo.
Yeah.
But the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, that's really
And the Eagle guy. That's
the
I hate
Eagle
to rip my own local friends here. If you're going to get an Eagle Super Bowl championship tattoo,
right?
Are you going to get it up on the side of your neck,
exactly,
where everybody can see it? And by the way, I want to thank our buddy Rich Vittori over there at Moonshine Philly for bringing over some food tonight.
So delicious.
We have so many great people, and Rich Vittori Moonshine, one of our great spots. We always give away gift cards. We have them on the wheel down there on Moyamensing Avenue. Some gnocchi with chicken.
Nice.
And
pesto
I came in late. I got
chicken in there,
it's
and he made some
blackened chicken pesto gnocchi.
Yes.
And there are the Waldorf chicken salad sliders. And his world famous hummus with pita bread.
And the hummus has
quite a kick to it.
Poblano peppers,
Yes,
poblano peppers, in it. A little nice
Now,
kick to
for
it.
those of you,
In the meantime, let's bring up our guest. This guy, rising star.
The champ is here.
Another guy, I believe he grew up in Kensington,
The
right?
champ is here.
That's where he's from. I mentioned Danny Garcia from Juniata Park. Ladies and gentlemen, the #1 contender, UFC lightweight. You saw him beat the former UFC lightweight champion, Anthony Pettis, up in Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Eddie Alvarez in the house with us here tonight. I don't think. By the way, congratulations, man. That was a great. This guy's a great former champion, Anthony Pettis.
Thank you.
And I know you went the distance with him, and you're wondering, did you know? Because obviously it was a very, very tough fight. Goes the distance. You got to wait for the judges to determine. Did you know you won the fight? Because I know every fighter thinks he won if it goes the distance. What were your feelings? When did you know or think that you had that fight won?
I'm the complete opposite of that fighter. I assume when I go back after every round, I assume I lose. I have a bad vision of myself fighting. I need my coaches to tell me, you won that one, you lost that one. So, but this was one fight in particular. When the fight was over, I knew I won. I knew I dominated the position, and I won the fight. So when I heard split decision, I was a little shocked about that whole ordeal.
Now, I saw it's interesting because CM Punk, the former wrestler, is training to be an MMA fighter, and he apparently is going to fight later on this year. But he and Anthony Pettis, I guess, are on the same team. Yeah. And I saw an interview with CM Punk saying that you were great in that fight and you did the right thing, and Anthony Pettis has to work on his wrestling moves, his ground game. Yeah. You knew that going in, right?
Yeah. You see, there's a lot of fans who don't understand the sport fully. And the sport is, it's not just to go out there, throw your hands, and hopefully you land a punch and beat the guy. And that's what a lot of fans want to see. But there's a strategy to it. Some guys are weak wrestlers. Some guys are weak stand-up guys. And I'm a veteran of the sport. I'm good at everything. I don't consider myself great at one thing. But Anthony has a deep hole in his wrestling. It's not good. So it'd be foolish of me not to stick my finger in that wound and wiggle it around a little bit. So that's what we did on Sunday, and we secured the win. So that was the idea. That was the game plan.
And it worked. And obviously, and now and one thing we love about what you've done, and this is why I think you've moved up, is that you're taking on the top guys. You're not fighting all these guys who are nobodies. You're taking on the Donald Cerrones and the Gilbert Melendezes and the Anthony Pettises, and that's why Dana White, who's a good friend of mine, has got to have you ready to go next. So what's the next move for you? Because you have to wait for the Dos Anjos and the Conor McGregor decision to figure out what's going on?
March 5th, the title fight's going to happen. For me, I want to bring him back to Philadelphia. The UFC hasn't been here, so I need a fight in a manner and in a way that makes the bosses come back to Philadelphia. It says... there's another guy, Paul Felder, who's up and coming, who's a Philadelphia guy. Myself, and hopefully there's a couple other guys, just to give them an excuse. Say, hey, the fans want it, and we have the right guys who are putting on exciting fights. Let's go back to Philly and give the fans what they want. So.
Now, I've been in the UFC. When I was in LA, I got to meet Dana White back in it was 2001 when I first met Dana White. I was doing the Best Damn Sports Show, and back then, MMA, UFC was not well known. It had been around, but there were some veteran guys around there, and the Tito Ortizes and those guys were the big stars.
Yeah.
And so when I met Dana, we always have UFC fighters on, a lot of MMA guests on that show, and people were like, "What are you guys doing?" But we knew early, and Fox got involved, and it was a big, big deal, and the UFC has blown up. And I remember interviewing Dana right before UFC 100, and here we are up to, like 197 now. So it's unbelievable how huge it's gotten in this country.
Let me tell you a story. My first fight was in a basketball gym, and I think I paid the promoter. Oh, excuse me.
Don't worry about it. That's all right.
I paid the promoter $250 so I can fight, which it didn't make much sense at the time, and. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a career out of this. I'm paying this guy so I can go fight. But it started off as more of a hobby. And like you just said, nobody was into the sport. It was just the Ultimate Fighter wasn't even on yet. I was a kid from Kensington who I never lost a street fight. So
and what year was that?
This was I was 19, so I think it was 2003 was my first professional fight. And I was coming out of North Catholic Wrestling, and I said, man, I never lost a street fight. I can fight. No one could beat me in a fight.
Now, what about Luigi now? Luigi's great. Luigi always everybody comes out here.
I'm
Luigi's
not challenging Eddie Alvarez. You out of your mind?
He can beat them in tennis.
Got a chip on his shoulder.
Look, I will smack in tennis, okay? But I'm not getting in a freaking octagon with Eddie Alvarez. It's not happening.
Once he's done with John Clark, he's going to wipe the floor with this guy.
I fight for food. He fights for money. Whole different story.
Exactly right.
Whole different story.
So now, growing up in the city, as I mentioned, Philadelphia is an unbelievable boxing town. I mean, the history of boxing in the city is, it's maybe top 3 boxing cities in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean, the amount of fighters that have come out of here. So you're growing up, UFC, MMA is just starting. What made you say, I'm going to do MMA instead of boxing, which is primarily the Philly sport?
My structure, my body, I'm not a boxer. I train with boxers. A best friend of mine, Ray Robinson, is a very good Philadelphia boxer. But when I cross-train with boxers, I learned quickly that I'm not a boxer. And a lot of these boxers at the 147-pound weight class, some of them are 6'2", 6'3". So, I have to take a ton of damage just to touch this guy, just to get inside. So that wasn't my type of fighting. And coming out of North Catholic and wrestling for them, and then fighting in the street, I realized that I wasn't technical guy. I was a guy who just got in your face long enough till you quit. And that was my style of fighting. So, yeah, and boxing was more technical, and it didn't involve that sort of spirit of it where you can wear a guy down and beat him that way. So this is definitely my sport. I can use kicks, punches, chokes, my wrestling. I can use everything, all my weapons. And I understood that like at a early age just from cross-training boxing and cross-training with MMA. Well, I'm definitely where I'm supposed to be at. I'm not going to jump to the boxing thing, that's for sure.
Now, Joe's he was a South Philly street fighter back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I do.
He used to train there. You know where Stogie Joe's
That's
is?
right,
That used to be a
Stogie
boxing.
Joe's. It was a boxing.
There used to be a boxing on the second floor. Guys would go up there. There was a boxing gym there.
And you remember Joe Hand out in...
Joe Hand, a good buddy. And so Robin and I have been fortunate. We've been to a lot of fights in Vegas, all the big ones, and a lot of UFC events. So Conor McGregor is obviously right now is like the biggest name in the UFC. The guy's flamboyant. He talks the talk and he goes out and walks the walk. Yeah. He's a flyweight or a featherweight, and you're a lightweight. So how does that work now? Would you have to get down if he wins and you get a shot at him, or do you have to fight the lightweight champion?
No, Conor's moving up to lightweight.
Oh, is he moving in this fight?
I have to wait March 5th because Conor's fighting Rafael dos Anjos in a title fight. So I have to wait to see who wins this fight, and then figure out, am I going to wait for a title shot or am I going to take a fight before my title shot comes around? And a lot of it depends on whether McGregor wins or loses.
Now, here's the question, because we hear this all the time with not just MMA guys, with boxers. They want to move up in weight or down in weight. And obviously, you know, Conor McGregor's moving up in weight to go from featherweight to lightweight. How hard is that? Because have you done it? Have you done different weight groups, or is it harder to go down in weight or go up in weight to fight?
Always harder to go down. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. I started my career at welterweight. I started my career whatever I weighed. I promised myself I'm not going to cut weight. I cut a lot of weight in high school wrestling, and it takes the joy and the fun out of what you're doing because it becomes more about losing the weight than it does the sport. It actually, the weight cut consumes you and like beats on you physically, emotionally.
I know. I've lost 9 pounds in a week, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to fight anybody in here tonight.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Jump on Jervis, man, and take him down tonight. I got a ground game right here up on the stage, man.
You coming to our house?
You use the eye poke.
So, I started at 170, but then as I climbed the ranks at 170, I started my career. I went 10-0. But my first loss at welterweight, I realized that as I got better, the guys started to get larger, and I started looking up at these guys. So when I would just weigh 170 when I stepped on the scale, and then I go fight, I weigh 170. These guys were cutting down from 195, 200, 205, just to get the 170. And then the following day when they step in the cage, they weigh about 195, 200. So I was completely outsized, so I needed to step down to the 55-pound weight class so I can get that advantage and be with guys sort of my size, you know. So going down is always tougher because you got to make the weight cut, which is terrible for most guys if you don't know how to do it correctly. But it's never fun losing a bunch of weight in a small amount of time. It sucks. I just got done with it. I just fought Sunday. I fought about 10 days ago, and I did my weight cut. It took about 10 days, and in a 10-day process, I go from about 172 all the way to 155, and then overnight, I'll get back in the cage overnight at 172. So I'll put on about 18 to 17
How is
pounds
that
overnight.
healthy?
No, nothing we do is healthy. I never said that. I didn't say that. I said I did it. I didn't say it was
Okay,
healthy.
so I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Why are they making, because they know that you're
One
really
idiot
not.
did it, and then everyone followed.
But what
Now
I'm
we all
saying
have
is
to do
that
it.
everybody knows that you're not really 155.
Yeah.
You are when you step on the scale on the weight day, and then the next day you could put on pounds.
But
or you
if
can,
that's all that
everybody's-
matters.
Why do they? I mean, and they know that it's not healthy.
Yeah.
They know that everybody's doing it. They know that it's a lie. So why force you guys to do that?
Nobody's
within
forcing
that-
us. It's up to you what weight class you want to fight at. But since the rest of the group is doing it, I tried to say in the beginning of my career, I don't care what these guys are doing. I'm just going to fight what I weigh, and I tried to do it.
Right.
And I actually was successful. I went 10-0. I knocked out 8 of them guys. But at the very top, when you're fighting the top 10 guys in the world, these guys are conditioned. They know how to get their weight down. They know how to get it back up. And when they get it back up, they're still functioning like a Maserati. They got all their electrolytes back. Everything's back, and they're functioning at a high level.
My point is, then why don't they make people weigh in the day of the fight?
That honestly is that if they did that, it would change the whole scope. That'd be a great thing.
I mean, I think that it's like a no-brainer.
I'm for that.
Me.
But the
See, it takes a woman to figure that out.
Hello.
You know why it's easy why
All
they
they do is worry about weight.
You know, because when we're in Vegas for all these big fights, you know, the Friday afternoon before the fight, especially with the big fights, there are more people showing up for the weigh-in than a lot of people, and they're paying to go in. We were out for the last Pacquiao fight and Mayweather fight, and there was a mob just trying to get into the MGM Grand Garden Arena just to see the weigh-in. They were they were scalping tickets to get in. It used to be free. Now people are paying. So the actual weigh-in is almost as big as the fight when you have a super high fight in particular.
It just doesn't make sense to me because I think that it would eliminate all those issues you were talking about. 2, fighters could be healthier.
And make it more enjoyable.
And you guys wouldn't have to constantly worry about this back and forth, and you would actually probably fight better because I can't imagine that cutting down that much weight in such short a time, it does something to your body.
It does.
And then gaining back that weight overnight, that's not good.
That's going to happen to me.
So-
I'm going to gain it all back in San Francisco next week.
Well,
I think that it would actually be for a better, stronger fight.
It would. The UFC did a good job. They hired the guy who caught Lance Armstrong just recently, USADA it's called, the drug administration, and they're putting all these protocols in line now. Like for this fight alone, I think I was tested 3 different times, 6:30 in the morning. People were popping up at the house. I thought they were Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm like, look, I don't want. I love God. I love Jesus. I just want to hear about him 6:30 in the morning. You know. So, but they pop in, they do the drug test, and they're putting the same thing you're talking about. They're talking about this every day and trying to make it safer and better for the fighter. So, I'm all for same-day weigh-ins. It would force a lot of guys not to do what we're doing to our bodies. I know it's not healthy, but it's 2 or 3 times a year, and I just consider it like a fasting.
No, where was the hardest place you had to fight? Like, where was the most difficult place that you had to fight?
Other than Kensington?
Other than
At 3 in the morning?
I had no desire to fight in St. Petersburg, Russia. That was one destination I didn't want to go to. I think I flew out like the day before the fight. Normally I would go and get acclimated, but I just heard a bunch of things and I had no desire to go there and fight. I actually lost the fight. Because my lack of enthusiasm, but
they got good vodka over there. You could have talked to Putin.
Exactly.
Putin could have hooked you up, man.
Putin was at the fight.
Well, how about that?
They said Putin was at the fight, and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And he didn't get you executed for showing up?
They said after the fight, it was my very first loss in my career. They said, "Do you want to meet Putin?" I said, "Fuck Putin." I didn't want to.
No wonder relations are so bad.
I was so mad about losing that.
What about Jean-Claude Van Damme?
F him too, man.
I fought Nick Thompson. This is when I realized that I should be fighting a lightweight. The guy was massive, yeah. But
you thought you were going to go over there and then one of the Klitschko brothers is going to walk out.
Yeah. No, I mean, nothing against, I have a lot of Russian friends, guys from Dagestan I train with and things like that, but I had no desire. The people were kind of rude when I went.
So you psyched yourself out then, really, for this?
I just didn't want to go. I'm like, let's...
Now, what was it? Was it the idea, or was it stories that you'd heard, or what was it about that particular location in Russia?
Even when I showed up, it was everything I thought there was in it. It was like kind of dark and
bunch of miserables out
all
there.
the cars were dirty as shit.
Dark.
And, I think we tipped a couple people. They didn't give a shit. They looked at us. it was all bad. I'm
Give him
like,
toilet
man.
paper. He love it.
The food was good, though, right? How was the...
They don't get any of that.
That was the weather.
Yeah, you should have brought over some toilet paper like we gave out on the show last
Yeah.
week.
Toilet
Absolutely.
paper and jeans.
Yeah.
Huge. Jeans are huge over there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then the guy that I fought was he got drunk in the airport when we were on our way back home, and he said something like, "I had my kids and my wife with me." He said, shut the kids up." And then we almost got in a fight
Wow.
in the
Oh, that
airport.
would've been
Did
better
you win
than
that one
we
at least?
In the St.
No, they,
Petersburg airport?
the
It was a
guys-
rematch in the
guys-
airport. Wow.
Yeah, the guys had the guns and stuff like that
Oh,
in the
yeah,
airport.
yeah.
So we're like, my wife smacked him in the head with her pocketbook.
Oh, man. That is awesome.
Pour one for capitalism.
Exactly right. That's a tough
If
Philly
we could
girl.
have gotten that on YouTube,
Now, she's from
that
Philly,
would've been
too, right? You're
fantastic.
right.
Yeah,
See, you don't
100%.
mess with Philly people, especially after they lose.
Yes.
And McGregor wins. Do you then get a shot at him? What has Dana White told you? You're the number one ranked lightweight.
Conor McGregor right now is making his own decision. He has, he has the cards to make his own decisions. He's surpassed the UFC, which is where every fighter wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I have nothing. The guy did a great job putting himself in the position he's in, and he stuck his neck out there in the meantime. So great for him. The thing is, if he wins the lightweight title, which is what I'm going for, if he wins that, it kind of messes up my chance, because now he has to go back down to the featherweight division and defend that title again, why the contender sits and waits for him to come back up when he's ready to defend. So the UFC just gave him a pass to be able to fight for both titles. So I'm not... Although I am aiming him to win so I can fight him so we can get a big money payday, it's really, if he does win, it kind of screws things up for me and my training partner, Frankie Eggert, because Frankie is the number one contender just like I am, just a weight class below me. So both of us want that title, and we have to wait for this guy, this Irish dude that figures. Although I think Dos Anjos, if he does the smart thing, which is take McGregor down and just beat the shit out of him, which would be the smart thing to do because McGregor's terrible on the ground, then he wins easily. But a part of me feels like Dos Anjos is going to try to strike with him, and if he does, he's going to get knocked out the same way Aldo did, and
Well,
I called that fight as well. I said,
Hopefully he's going to listen to this podcast and get some tips.
I don't know if he speaks too good of English, so I don't know
We don't either on the
we
show.
don't.
That's okay. People listen to this all over the world.
in particular.
So the question was, do you feel that the fighters are getting shorted because of the whole Reebok thing?
Yeah, the fighters overall aren't, because a lot of these guys weren't making anything. So all the younger crew of guys are making they're making out with the Reebok deal because they're actually getting something. Guys like me, I've been in the sport for 13 years, and Reebok decides they're going to pay me $2,500 to wear their shorts. I'm like, that's a Costco order for me. I got 4 kids. So like I'm not, you're not exciting me much about doing that. But for me, when I signed with the UFC, I never depended on sponsorship pay to pay my bills. When I signed with them, I made sure that my contract was correct, where I was happy with just my fight deal and didn't have to worry about sponsors and them other things. But I know a lot of guys, they're not.
That is genius. Real genius, Kelly LeBrock.
Yes.
Wow. It's good stuff. Well, we really, really appreciate you coming out here tonight, man. And good luck to you. Stay in touch. Did you really bet my Denver Bronco pick over the weekend?
100%, yeah.
Oh, see what I mean? I'm helping. It's called giving back, man. I take care of him with his stone cold lead pipe blocks. Giving the Denver Broncos, he takes care of the Delaware Valley, representing us as a soon-to-be UFC
Thank you, guys.
lightweight champion. Thanks for coming by. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Alvarez. And you got, now, I noticed on the back of your shirt, you got your own company now. What's your website on there?
My Twitter, most people follow my Twitter handle. It's eAlvarezFight. And on Instagram, eAlvarezFight. Follow me, watch me. A bunch of family. I have a lot of family stuff and fighting stuff. Family and fighting. That's all we do.
Beautiful.
So cool.
And you train here too, right?
Yeah. Well, I train. I'm doing boxing over at Harrogate, where Danny was. So I'm still back in Kensington doing boxing. But I do strength and conditioning in Marlton, New Jersey. Training with Frankie Egger and them over in Ricardo Almeida's with Frankie and them. Frankie as in Barbosa and them, that whole crew.
Well, if you got time in the summer and you have to wait, I'm going to do some concrete in my mom's basement.
Yeah.
We'll both go down there and pour some concrete, man. I used to do that stuff too. I got to dig out her basement. I got to dig out 12. I got to dig out 12 inches and put 4 inches so I can have a
No,
nice.
someone stole my shoes.
Oh no!
Hey, let's put that out there on the show.
Somebody
if
stole
anybody
your shoes?
finds my shoes, man. No, we did the UFC did a segment where I threw my wrestling shoes up on the wire, my old high school. Well, when it aired on Fox Sports, someone went there with a thing and took them. I don't know who.
Wow! In Kensington?
It was in behind North Catholic. Someone,
Wow.
And my friend.
It is an outrage.
My friend sent me a picture of a guy in a bucket cutting
Oh,
down.
man, that is an outrage. Meanwhile, there's sneakers all over the city for 20 years sitting
Exactly,
up on
yeah, nobody
electric
touched
wires, and yours the only one that went up and
You
got.
can't leave anything laying around Kensington
not
these days.
edges.
Have you checked eBay and Craigslist? Maybe you can buy them back.
Really? Meet a guy in the parking lot, you can beat the shit out of him.
We'll get them for you, man. Thanks so much, man. Eddie Alvarez, thanks for coming by, man. And we're going to take a break. We're going to come back with our second hour right here. It's the Tony Bruno Show live at Comedy Sports Philly. We are joined by an old familiar face. Well, he's not old because he always looks younger. I keep getting older, and he stays the same age. Ladies and gentlemen, our good buddy Jervis Peterson is here. He's a survivor. He was a survivor before Destiny's Child even knew what a survivor was.
You got that
Back
right.
in the day, right? Thank you. Before Beyonce and all the other girls. Did you sue Beyonce for I'm a Survivor?
No, I didn't. But actually, I knew them way back in the day, and it was funny because their video that the different Survivor, they were actually trying to get me for that video.
They were? Why didn't
Yeah.
you do it?
You know, I was all over the place at that point in time.
Exactly.
Oh,
guy,
you thought
right?
you were too good, huh? I
Yes, I did. Damn it.
He turned down Beyonce. He turned down Beyonce, man. He's too busy.
Exactly right. Now, that was Survivor. Then we've had you on the show before, and then you went back to Survivor.
Yeah.
What was that called? The
Blood
Golden
versus
Years?
water.
Survivor what?
Blood versus water.
Blood versus water.
Yeah, I bought my niece out, Marissa.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Telling
bought
us
her
the story.
out.
Mhm.
We had a good time. They got her early, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
That
you said she
mouth.
went out
These
early.
kids
got
today with
bounced
that
early.
mouth.
I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
See, if you
I
went
got
to the
one.
Big Brother house, you would never be thrown out early, man.
No, I was
That's what I
cruising
hear.
there. Actually, I was on Big Brother season 2.
You were?
They brought 4 survivors in to compete against the last 4 Big Brother people, and we kicked their ass, of course. You know, but it was a
Nice.
fun time, man. But I would never do that show. That show was insane. It's like being trapped in your apartment for 3 months.
So now, Ray, you
Yes.
mentioned now your mom's no longer with us, Peachy.
No,
So you
yes.
got the tattoo
Yep.
to honor your mom,
Yes,
and then
sir.
you have your whole family on
Yes,
there.
sir.
So you've been doing this basketball thing. What? This is 9 straight years now.
Yeah, so it's our 9th year. It's the Peachy and Joyce Celebrity Basketball Game for Cancer. My mom was Peachy. My aunt was Joyce. They were sisters from Kensington. Grew up real close.
Did you know Eddie Alvarez at all?
No, I'm not from Kensington, but my whole family.
Oh,
My
okay.
my mom was.
Are you
and,
dissing Kensington right
Not
now?
at all. Not at all.
Eddie's got a
Not at
problem with
all.
And he's still
Whitey, like my partner Joey, no, I'm not dissing him. But you can't say you're from Kensington unless you really are, because that's how it works, right?
It used to be you couldn't say you're from Fishtown, but now you can't afford to live in Fishtown.
Exactly.
Because it's like,
Right.
you know, it's like
Tax
a hot
rates are
neighborhood.
I grew up on the stoop with both of them telling stories, so I know the feeling. But yeah, so it's my mom Peachy, his mom Joycey. Joycey passed away first of cancer throughout her whole body, and my mom, she thought that she had a cleaning service for the last 10 years of her life, and she thought that she just had back pain from, the vacuum and stuff, and it wound up being colon cancer, and she passed in 3 months after finding out. So not only did she pass the cancer, but I think she passed of losing her best friend too, because Joycey was her best friend. So I called Joey and I said, "Hey, let's do this celebrity basketball game." So 9 years in, we partnered up with Bringing Hope Home last year. They're out in Malvern, and they help families that have cancer right now who can't pay their bills. So it just doesn't go to research; it goes to people who need it right now. So Joey and I and our team, Brian White and Kirk Anderson, we went last week and we picked out the families. And I don't want to tell you all the stories, but we picked out a 4-year-old boy with leukemia, picked out a 35-year-old single mother with 5 children. We picked out a 52-year-old man whose wife quit his job to take care of him. They have a disabled son at home and can't pay their bills. We even found a 75-year-old grandmother with her oldest daughter died and left her 7 children. So she's living off her Social Security and trying to pay for her chemo treatments with that.
Wow.
So Bringing Hope Home allows only $1,500, unfortunately, to each family. But all in all, our goal is to raise $13,500. Jervis has been involved the last couple of years. And what we really want to do this year, we have Monet Davis coming out to play in the game. We have Alvin Williams from the Toronto Raptors. Hopefully Eddie can make it. We're going to hopefully have Eddie out there. Natalie's hosting.
Yes, our very own Natalie's hosting.
All right, Natalie.
Yep.
Beautiful.
We have Yuki Washington.
Love you.
From CBS. Doug Overton.
Yeah, Villanova's own.
We also have a guy named Super Dave, who is an N1 basketball player. If anybody knows about N1 basketball.
Not Super Dave, the guy who
Super
used to
Dave
do
Osborne.
Not
Super Dave.
Not Super Dave Osborne.
Not that guy. Jerv wanted him, but I told him no. Last Funkhauser.
Is he still alive? Super Dave Osborne?
Yeah, Funkhauser. He's Larry David.
So we have all those guys coming to the basketball game. The tickets are $10. Kids under 12 are free.
And where is the game?
And that's at University of the Sciences. You guys have the link, right? I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll post it on our Twitter.
You can check out bringinghopehome.org.
Formerly Philadelphia Textile, right?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yes.
And they have,
No. That's Philadelphia Textile became what? Philadelphia University, right? University of Sciences
University
was
of
what?
Sciences, yeah.
Oh, the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy. I understand it. Everybody's changing their name. Glassboro became Rowan.
Right.
Right.
Glassboro
Everybody's
State.
changing their names.
Right.
It's an outrage.
Tell them what happened last year.
All right, so
with Connor Barwin showing up and getting real aggressive.
Yeah. So let me give you the backstory here. So when it started, I called Joey, my cousin, my partner, Joyce's son, and I said, Joe, let's do this. So I had my celebrity team, which was the N1 basketball players. You, Douglas, played the first year, and Joey's team was like my cousin Jimmy, who doesn't even play basketball at all. And Joey was really competitive. His guys from Kensington are competitive. It was competitive, but we beat them by like 20 every year. So about 3 years ago, Joe says, listen, if this is for both of our moms, then I'm going to pick my team. So I said, all right. So that was Jervis's first year. He made the game-winning shot, right? That was the last year we won. We lost the last 3 years in a row. Poor Connor Barwin. I invite him last year. He comes out. 5 minutes into the game, he says, is this serious? I said, yeah, this is pretty serious. He goes, all right. So his game face comes on. We start really trying, and then we wind up losing by 30. At halftime, he changes the score, and we still lost. So Connor,
Wait, he
I'm trying
can't
to
play
get you back.
basketball?
Sounds like a Sixers
He's
game.
awesome. He's awesome. But
Okay.
the guys that Joey got from overseas or wherever they got him from, they were pretty good.
They must have been
This
from
year-
Russia.
Those Europeans.
Yeah, it must have been
I
the
don't know where they were
Russians.
from, but
Europeans
I
could
recruited
shoot.
hard this year. So that Alvin Williams, he can play as long
And
as
you have
he
to
wants.
understand, these guys talk so much
All year long.
shit.
All year long.
So we got to hear this now for a year of how they kicked our ass, and we were blowing them out. Now,
Yeah.
the past 2 years they've beaten us. We have to hear this shit.
Why don't you
all
get the
year.
Sixers out there? You could probably beat
Yeah.
them by
Probably
30.
beat the Sixers.
The Washington Generals playing.
Natalie, I was saying, like, we can't even go out and get like a comedian to come play because I can't afford to have like,
But
somebody
that's
who's not
like
sure
what
play.
is the best part about this. It's for such a great cause,
Right.
and it's going to be a game.
Yes,
Like
gonna be a
it's going to
great
be a
game.
game. So
Yes.
I mean, not only are you donating, you're coming out to watch such a competitive game.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of celebrity tournaments, they're like all fluff and have fun, but
Not this one.
no, it's going to be
this
on.
is serious.
You should
I'm
go after
super
Judah
excited.
Friedlander. He's like the
Rock
championship
and jock.
champion
World
of the
champion.
world, and he's actually very good at.
Is it local?
No, he's a comedian. He was here on the show.
know.
last
Yeah, he
couple
came
of weeks.
like
I
our
don't think he's in
second
town.
But
He travels all over.
he's good at hand-eye coordination games.
Let's
Yes.
get him. If you're out there listening,
Judah, yeah, we know you're watching the podcast, pal.
yeah.
I never
No,
can count.
he's like
Checkers?
a champion ping pong player. I don't know about basketball, but I would have a feeling he's actually
No,
pretty good
hand and
at
eye
it.
coordination goes hand in hand.
Now,
Right.
we're going to be in San
Xbox,
Francisco, so
yeah.
I'd love to come
I'd
out,
love
but
to
I'm not
have
going to be
you.
able to do it.
Next year.
Next year, the Super Bowl, it's always the same time. We always do it the same
No, we're going to do it in March 25th. We have a whole year and a half to
Okay,
plan.
good. The Warriors?
The Golden State.
Are they any good?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they
Speaking
can-
of the
they can
Warriors, I
shoot
got
a
to
bit.
play this for you, though. I hate to do this, but I have to play this. So, 5 years ago, right, Steph Curry was a young player, and he was good then. But now he's like the best player in basketball, right?
That's right.
You know what Steph Curry did for me 5 years ago? This.
Hi, this is Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors, and you're listening to Into the Night with Tony Bruno.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that? How many people have Steph Curry
Nice.
doing a personalized promo for him, huh?
Beautiful.
I like it.
Is that
Good.
sweet or what,
That's good.
man?
That's
Nice.
good.
That's sweet.
Miss Robin, do you want to hear a funny, and Tony, do you want to hear a funny chauffeur story real quick?
Absolutely.
All right.
Now, do you chauffeur? Or you just
not anymore. No, not anymore. No, I'll tell you real quick. So Cole Hamels, God bless him, he's no longer with the Phillies, but he was our client when he was here for a while.
Guy.
We went to the last Cole Hamels Foundation event.
Great man.
Yeah, Diamonds and Denim. Great event.
So I was an actor before my mom passed away on Ed. Third season, that's when I found out she got sick and everything, and I moved back home. Always stayed with me. So I came up with a show idea where every week I would drive a celebrity in our car, talk about what they're doing to go green, promote what they promote on Letterman. Thought it was great. In between trying to get that made, this situation happened. So Cole was going up to play the Mets, and one of our drivers was driving him up there, and the driver switched lanes without using his turn signal right before he went through the tunnel. So the cop pulls him over, and he says, "Who do you have in the car?" You know, roll the window back down, and he had his headphones on, he was reading his book. And the guy goes, "Sir, you're going to need to get out of the car." And he didn't ask who he was, just said, "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to play the Mets, I'm Cole Hamels." And he said, "Okay." He goes, "Yeah, you're going to need to take our squad car in and go to the bus stop." And he said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "This guy's going to be here a while. Our registration sticker wasn't matching our registration card," or something like that. Yeah. So this young lady picks him up in the squad car. They're halfway through the tunnel, and she says, "Who are you? You're handsome."
What up?
Cole says, "I'm Cole Hamels." You know, he's so polite. You know, "I'm Cole Hamels. I'm playing the Mets today." And she goes, "Honey, you're not going to no bus stop. I'm taking you right to your hotel." So, but the cop knew all along, the first cop knew all along who Cole Hamels was. Because they were playing the Mets that day, he wasn't having it. He was screwing Cole Hamels. That would have been great. And I talked to Cole a couple
Did he
weeks later.
win the game or did he?
I don't remember that, but I asked Cole, I said, "Would you have signed off on that if I had my show?" He said, "Goddamn right I would have."
We're going to be doing a lot of live periscoping from Radio Row. So we're going to do the 2 podcasts, but on Radio Row, we're going to be doing, so we get a guest, we'll just turn the periscope on, and we'll go live, and you'll be able to see the interviews live on Radio Row. Instead of waiting,
yes,
taping.
and thank God the Best Buy, Greg at Best Buy has helped me because this phone here is dead, and he.
Could you imagine Robin without a phone for more than 30 seconds?
Well,
it would be absolutely.
my entire business is conducted on here.
Exactly. I want to thank everybody for coming out. First of all, I got to thank Ray Martin and my buddy Jervis Peterson. Good luck with the event. Don't forget, bringinghomehope.org. Go there and get your tickets and go to the Beef and Beer and help families who really need it and help them feel better about their lives in a very, very difficult situation. Got to thank Joe Corrado, J Corrado 19. He is absolutely awesome. The man who can take on anybody and challenges everyone. The man Luigi Curto. Follow him at Luigi Curto 22 on Twitter. Natalie Aganoff up there. She's going to be emceeing. She's tremendous. Love having her around. Our buddy Nathaniel Dotson up there videoing the show. A cut vid. Follow him. He's a genius.
And behind the scenes.
Miss Robin Austin on Twitter at Tony Bruno Show. Our buddy Brian Martell. You can follow him at Marty5005. He's our computer expert. This guy knows he can hack into anybody's computer.
Oh, nice.
We're going to find, we have a couple of people that we need him to hack into. And we're going to get that done. And all the other people here, CSE Philly.
And don't forget,
Eddie
we are not
Alvarez.
here next week. Obviously, we're going to be out in San Francisco. But if you are in San Francisco, whether it's you live there or you are visiting for the Super Bowl, make sure you look on TonyBrunoShow.com. You can get the tickets there for all of the Tony Bruno Show events. Some are free, some are not. And our calendar of events is on there.
Yep.
You'll find everything on there, Tony Bruno Show.
And if you run into us in Union Square at Restaurante Umbria, say hi, we'll have a cocktail.
And let's not forget to thank Eddie Alvarez.
Eddie Alvarez, of course.
All right. You can follow him at E Alvarez Fight.
Exactly. And buy him another bottle of vodka.
Damn right.
Anybody who wants to stand around and have a shot after we're done on the show, you're welcome to have a shot. Luigi, you didn't even have one yet, did you?
Not yet.
No, I'll have a couple.
Natalie, you going to have a shot? All right, anybody who wants a shot, we'll finish this bottle here tonight.
Affirmative.
Damn right.
Exactly. In the meantime, don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And God bless America. We'll see you next week from the Super Bowl. Good night, everybody.